I watch you circle dates on borrowed time. Coffee cups grew cold as they wouldn't sleep, laughing at the rain that tried to interfere. Every promise folded carefully. Measured words, measured space, measured dreams. Every choice aligned like city lights. I learned your silences, your subtle signs. How love moves when it's built to last. I step back, let the moment breathe. Hands unseen, still guiding gently. This is your day, drawn in real colors. Every step lands where it's meant to be. I've traced the lines, erased the doubts. Now it's your turn to simply be. I'm standing close but out of sight, watching love arrive on time. Final checks, the quiet before the sound. Heartbeat sinking with the room. What we planned is now unfolding, like a song that finally blooms. No revisions, no reruns now. Just trust the flow. You already know this is your day. Nothing borrowed. Every glance says we're ready now. All the hours, all the care turned into air. You're breathing out. I won't lead, I won't decide. I just believe you'll fly. The air may turn a little unscripted. Voices shake, the timing bends. Those aren't flaws in the design. That's love learning how to expand. This is your day, alive and moving. Every sound feels honestly true. I held the frame, you paint the rest. That's all I ever meant to do. From here on out, it's all yours. Every open door, this is your day. Keep it shining, carry it beyond these walls. I'll stay behind the scenes you leave, cheering every time you call. Not goodbye, just letting go, to watch your forever glow.
I've been walking with my collar up through the rush of the avenue. Every window throwing silver back like it knows what I'm going through. Cool breeze running down the boulevard, sneakers tapping out a little groove. There's a rhythm in the traffic lights saying you still got moves. Some days try to bend my name into something I don't recognize, but the city keeps a bass line on underneath these crowded skies. I can feel it in the turning wheels, in the laughter from a passing train. Every heartbeat getting louder now, like a chorus breaking through the rain. No map is waiting in my hands, no perfect line to find. One more step can start the spark and pull me back to life. So lift me up, skyline feeling I'm not done. I'm still believing, even when the rain comes dancing on my shoes. I keep moving, I'll break through. Turn it up, city singing, there's a brand new strength beginning. How high I climb is not the point tonight. I just know I'm coming alive. I'm coming alive. Hey. There were chances that I let slip by. There were words I couldn't say enough. There were dreams I folded small and hid in the pocket of a worn out jacket cuff. But tonight the skyline calls me out with the glow I've never seen before.